Welcome to Connection Card Pro. In this short tutorial video, I'm going to give you a little bit of information on how to set up and manage your online giving and various payment processing and donation settings. If you haven't already done so, you'll want to first set up your payment processing account by going to the accounting menu, clicking on Financial Settings. On the Financial Settings page, click on Giving Setup. From the Financial Settings page, click on Giving Setup. This will walk you through the process of setting up your payment processing account with one of our payment partners directly through the Connection Card Pro website and platform. Once you've entered the information required and submitted your application for payment processing, that will take a little bit of time, sometimes up to a couple business days, to process and get approved. In the meantime, I would also recommend that you set up your chart of accounts if you haven't done so already. You can also do that from Accounting, Financial Settings, and Chart of Accounts. Once you've submitted your payment processing application and once it's been approved, you can go back to Accounting, Financial Settings, and Giving Setups to get to this Payment and Donations page. You'll see here the account setup checklist, which shows us in this case for our account, we have already completed the steps, our account has been set up, verified, enabled, and we've saved our default settings below. If you have not yet saved these settings, you'll see a red X here. At the top of the page, there is a link to your generic giving page, as well as the HTML for an embeddable giving widget that you can put onto your website. This is an example of what the generic giving link will look like to anyone who clicks on that link. You may use that link in an email or on your website to allow your donor to have a quick and easy place to give online. This is a mobile-friendly website which will look very simple and basic, but can also be branded with your organization or church's name, your logo, and any customized header image above. If I scroll down to Payment and Donation Settings, you'll see a handful of settings here that you can enable or disable. First of all, if you allow donors to cover processing fees, this will give them the option to choose whether or not they want to donate a little extra in order to cover the difference of the processing fee that is charged. Recurring giving, if enabled, allows your donors to have the option to choose whether or not they want to give a one-time gift or a recurring gift. A recurring gift gives them the option to choose a number of settings, such as the frequency, whether it repeats every week, every 2 weeks, every month, or a number of other options. They can also choose when the recurring gift starts and when the recurring gift ends, or if it just keeps going until they cancel it. If you have the text messaging add-on, the Text to Give will allow donors to text a keyword, give, to your number and automatically receive a giving link in response. If you allow donors to choose a designation, then when a donor gives, they'll have the option to choose from a list of different ministries or purposes or designations where their gift should go. You can also disable this and they won't see that option. And lastly, you can also give your donors the ability to include an optional note with their gift. Scrolling down a bit more, we see a number of financial and chart of accounts settings. Whenever a gift is given through any of your giving links, a transaction is automatically created in your ledgers. These settings allow you to choose how and where those transactions are created. The Use Accounts Receivable for Donations and Payments option, when enabled, will cause all of the donations that you receive to be recorded first in your accounts receivable or the selected accounts receivable account. And then, once the payout is transferred from Connection Card Pro to your bank account, a transaction will be automatically created, moving that money from your accounts receivable to your register account. It is highly recommended that you use the Accounts Receivable for Donations Payments option, as it will make it much easier to reconcile your bank account statements with your Connection Card Pro ledgers. You can also choose which accounts receivable account you want to use for this option. Depending on which payments partner you're using, you may also see an option for Record Estimated Fees Daily in Accounts Payable. If you see this option, that means that the payments partner that you are using does not deduct processing fees until the end of the month. Because of that, we've given you the option to allow Connection Card Pro to automatically estimate those fees on a daily basis and record that estimation in your accounts payable account. This will help you to at least have an idea of how much you'll be paying in processing fees at the end of the month. Then you'll be able to choose your default register, default fund, default income account, and default expense account. These are the default accounts that any giving through your generic giving link or any other giving links that are not necessarily set up to another account are going to be recorded in. This is why it's highly recommended that you set up your chart of accounts first before setting up these options, as you'll choose accounts that you've created in your chart of accounts for these options. Below that, you can choose which email address any donation confirmations that are sent to the donor will come from. Donation and payment notifications allows you to choose which admin users within your account should receive an email notification every time a new donation is received. And below that, you can select which donor information is collected. Donor name and email address are always collected by default, and you can also choose whether or not you want to also collect a cell phone number, a mailing address, and or a billing address whenever someone gives a donation. And at the bottom of the payment and giving setup page, you also have a section called Designations and Unique Giving Links. This allows you to create any number of different designations that can be chosen when a donor gives, or any number of unique giving links which are already automatically designated to a different income or expense account, or a different fund, different register, or different tags. Any designations or unique giving links that you create here can double as both a unique giving link, which is automatically assigned to the settings that you've chosen for that link, as well as being available as a designation option that a donor can select if you've enabled the ability for donors to select which designation their donation should go toward. If you click on Create New Link, you'll be able to create a new designation and giving link. You'll give it a title. This is a title that donors will see whenever they click on this link, or this is a title that will be displayed in the options when donors choose a designation. For example, if we chose to make this a special giving link for outreach activities, if you choose to show gift as designated, that will cause the donor to see at the top of their donation that this gift is specifically designated for outreach activities. If you do not check this, then the donor will not see that, and this is a great way for you to just create different unique giving links to help you track where the donation came from, or what account it's going into, or what it's tagged with, even if it's not necessarily designated by the donor for a specific cause. You can also choose whether or not you want to allow the donor to select a designation when they're using this link. If you have enabled the ability for donors to select a designation when they are using the generic giving link, you also have the option to choose whether or not they can select a designation within each individual giving link that you create. If you do not enable this in this giving link, then in this giving link, they will not see that option. And if you would like this to be available as an option for donors to choose when selecting a designation on any other giving link, then just check Include this designation. If you do not check this, then this option will not be available within the drop-down box, and this will only be used as a unique giving link. Separate from whatever settings you've used for your generic giving link, you can also choose whether or not you want to allow donors to give a note, whether or not you want to allow donors to cover the fee, and whether or not you want to allow donors to make this a recurring gift. You can then choose which register, fund, income account, and expense account any gifts given through this link will be assigned to. You can have an unlimited number of giving links, which allows you to have an unlimited number of options for assigning different gifts given through different avenues, or different gifts given for different purposes to go into different accounts. As a side note, in the giving setup and giving links, the expense account is only used for automatically recording the processing fees. In most cases, you're probably going to use the same expense account for all of your giving links, such as a bank fees or processing fees expense account, whereas you might use different income accounts for each link. You can also choose to apply any tags, whether to the income transaction or the expense transaction associated with any donations given through this link. And if you have the text messaging add-on enabled, then you can choose a custom keyword that users can text to your number in order to automatically receive this giving link in response. Once done, just click on Save. All of your giving links can also be customized as far as their style. Just click on the Style button for more information. You can also apply a custom style and look to each of these giving links by clicking on the Style button. And clicking on the Links button will give you the direct link to this giving link. This link can also be used from your website or sent in an email, and you also have an embeddable giving widget that you can put on your website. That is it for this tutorial on how to set up and manage your donations and giving within Connection Card Pro. Please feel free to check out our other tutorial videos for more information.